Hello, today I will be showing you how I made this Gif banner for my fanfiction story. Here are two separate GIFs that I have merged into one to make it look like the two GIFs are interacting. And in the middle is where I usually place a title, but you can do whatever you like placing your username and making it a GIF for the end of the chapter or saying thank you for reading, however you'd like to do. This is how it looks. And these are my two GIFs I will be using. So for starters, you want to make sure that each GIF has the same amount of frames. By finding your frames, you can go to Windows and then Timeline. By finding your layers, you can either go here, it should be there, or you can go to Windows and then Layers, turning it on, or pressing F7, I believe. And we have 10 layers, but I am going to be making the GIF 22 frames long. And by doing that, you press your first frame of one of your GIFs, doesn't matter which one, shift and click at the same time on whatever layers you want to select, or frames I should say, and then let go of shift. Now you can go to this little menu here, which has 3 lines. It's in the corner of your timeline, and go all the way up to copy frames. However, we won't be needing that right now. We need to make sure all of our banner has the same amount of frames as our other GIFs do. And by the way, this is the size of mine, 1280 by 443. These are in pixels, by the way. And yours will probably start off with 1 frame. So you click on that frame, copy frame, click this again, go to paste frame, and paste after selection. And by doing that, you keep creating more frames until you have the amount of frames you need for both GIFs. However, I need 22, so I will just go to 1, and then 11, copy frames, and then paste after selection. So I have 22 frames in total. And I will just you can either delete these frames or you can just select 1 through 2 by doing the shift click. And then copy frames, go over here, make sure all frames are selected. You can do the shift click or you can go to this little menu and press select all frames. Paste frames and then paste over selection. Then you want to go to edit, free transform, and move your GIF to your desired area. And now we will do the same for the other one. Make sure all frames are selected. And now move it. I tend to make my GIFs the same size, not like size, but like making sure that they align correctly so it looks realistic. Because I don't want one to be too big while she is tiny. But it depends on what you like. Since I want to make it look like an actual scene, I prefer to do this. And now you want to scroll down to make sure if you find layer 1 and your other layers, which is the other GIF, you want to go to your second GIF, starting at layer 1, make sure you're at layer 1 on the timeline, and press this I, and it disables it. And then you want to press layer 22, which is my layer, but that doesn't mean that's the number your layer. The last frame of your first GIF. And now you want to make a new layer by selecting this paper with a fold in the corner. And now we will be going to our brush, making sure the front color is black. Make sure your size of your brush is pretty big and the hardness is at 0. And now we will add black wherever we want our GIF, our second GIF, to go. Make sure the line right here is kinda blurry or what have you, so it blends correctly. And now you want to turn on layer 1, make sure layer 1 is selected, scroll all the way up to your last layer, and press shift and then click. Now, duplicate this black layer, create clipping mask. You can turn this layer off. Press the first layer of your second GIF and go all the way to the last layer by scrolling up or what have you, and move them in between your made layer with the black and the copy. And that should make the blended area. You can erase it freely by selecting your black layer where you added the black, or you can add it freely by making sure the front layer is still black. However, the colors do not match up well, so I will be adding a PSD. I will link the PSD I have used. It's called Almost Perfect, created by Jake Pat over on DeviantArt. You drag this over here, select this file, and drag it right on top. You can mess around with the opacity or whatever. Since this second layer, the first GIF, is already so orange, I will be going over to it and changing up the saturation so it blends a little bit better. And now scroll all the way to the top underneath your PSD. I get mine from DeviantArt personally. And press the T, which is where you get your type tool. And type your title or whatever you want your text to be. I will be changing my title to white since I have such a dark background. There we go. And now to save the GIF, you want to go to File, Export, Save for Web. And then save it wherever you want to save it. Now once that's saved, you have to make sure that the file size is 3 megabytes, I believe it is. And if it's not, if it won't allow you to upload it, I use this website called easygif.com, and then go to Gift Optimize, choose File, and now mine is 6, so it would not be able to load onto Wattpad properly or upload. So level 200 or compression level 200 is pretty heavy. If you have such a big GIF, I recommend going pretty high. If you have a smaller GIF that's close to 3 megabytes but not quite, I recommend trying out levels in this range. But I will be trying out about 132 and see what happens. Now it's 1. Sometimes it messes up the quality. That's just, it happens. Save image as, and then resave your file, and it should be good to upload.